Hi there, welcome back. Look, today we're going to talk about classical conditioning, and we're going to go over two big experiments, Watson's and Pavlov's, and go over some of the basic terminology like acquisition, extinction, spontaneous recovery, generalization, and discrimination. Before we get to business, though, let me just take a moment to congratulate you. If you're the type of student to tune in and watch this, that means you're really trying hard, and that hard work is likely to pay off. So congratulations for tuning in. That says a lot about how seriously you take your studies. Um, okay, classical conditioning. What is it? Basically, classical conditioning is when you take two stimuli, you pair them together, and the response to one wears off on the other. So, for instance, in class, we used a water gun and we squirted somebody in the face, and every time we squirted, we said the word can. So we paired the word can with the squirting, and the flinching that naturally occurs to the word, or the flinching that naturally occurs to the squirting, um, wore off, and all of a sudden the person was flinching to the word can. So in that case, we classically conditioned the student to flinch to the word can. Okay, so the two big experiments, the first one we're going to look at is Pavlov, and of course you remember Pavlov's experiment was about dogs that salivated to a tone or to a bell. So how did he get dogs to salivate to the sound of a tone or a bell? Well, he paired the bell with food. So every time they brought the dog food, there was a bell or a tone that played. So you do that enough times, you pair those stimuli together, and the dog is salivating to the sound of the bell or the tone. Okay, classical conditioning. So they have names for the bell and the tone and the salivating, and those are the unconditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned stimulus, and conditioned response. Sometimes you'll see those as letters, UCS, UCR, CS, and CR. So in this case, the word conditioned as an unconditioned stimuli, the word conditioned is the same thing as learned. So the unlearned stimuli is the unconditioned stimuli. The unlearned response is the unconditioned response. So with Pavlov, what is the unlearned part? Well, the dog naturally salivates to food. Yeah, to food. So, that the UCS is the food, and the UCR is salivation. The conditioned stimulus, the learned stimulus, is the tone, and the learned response is salivation. Oftentimes, the responses are the same. The UCR and the CR are often similar, but not always. Okay, another famous experiment was John Watson's experiment. It's a little unethical because he used a little baby and he scared the baby. So that's not a little unethical, it's totally unethical. Nevertheless, it's a famous experiment, and we need to know the parts of it. So with Watson, they put a little rabbit, or a rat, actually, a white rat in front of the baby, and every time they did that, they would sound a loud gong right behind the baby's head. So when they did that, the baby would get scared because the gong was so loud, and the baby would cry. So at first, before they ever did the experiment, the baby liked the white rat and was interested in it and touched it and was happy to be with it. After they do the experiment, after they pair the two stimuli, the fear response to the gong wears off, and you have a fear response to the white rat. So, what's the UCS and the UCR and the CS and the CR? Well, the UCS, the unconditioned stimulus, is the loud gong or the loud noise, and the unconditioned response is the crying or the fear. Okay, so what's the conditioned stimulus? You tell me. That's right. The conditioned stimulus is the white rat, and the conditioned response, yes, crying and fear. Okay. So in both these experiments, you have several phenomena going on that are important to classical conditioning. The first one is acquisition. Acquisition is the initial phase of learning where you pair the two stimuli together. So that initial phase is called acquisition. Once you have the new response, acquisition is over. It's up until then that's acquisition. if you quit pairing the UCS and the CS together, in Pavlov's experiment, if you quit pairing the food with the tone, eventually the dog will quit salivating to the tone. So when you quit pairing the UCS and the CS together, over time the behavior will go extinct. So that's extinction. That's when you no longer get the response. It's like dinosaurs going extinct. It's gone. The behavior is gone. The learned response is gone. The conditioned stimulus, the conditioned response is gone. If you have extinction, and it's extinct for a while, and then you pair the UCS and the CS again, you pair them back together, you'll get spontaneous recovery. So if you start the food and the bell together again after it goes extinct, boom, spontaneous recovery. The dog will start salivating to the tone again. And it comes back quicker the second time. Once it's learned and gone extinct, then when it comes back, it's learned quicker. That's good. Okay, two other things. With baby Albert, you had something called generalization. First, baby Albert was specifically conditioned just to fear the white rat. But also what happened, baby Albert began to fear white rabbits and other white things that were furry, and actually other furry things that weren't white. So if it was furry or white, he ended up having a fear of those things. So that means he's generalized his response. So that's generalization, when it's you get the same conditioned response and it's to other similar stimuli. That's generalization. Now, had baby Albert done the opposite, which is he only did the conditioned response with the white rat, that would mean he was discriminating. So if he didn't cry or show fear to the white rabbit or to the white Santa Claus mask or some of these other furry things, that would be discrimination. Discrimination is telling the difference between two things and treating them differently. So I want to be clear, though, baby Albert did generalize. The opposite of generalization is discrimination. I think that's it. That's it on my list. See, we're done. We're done the list. We went all the way through it. So once again, congratulations for tuning in, and you might want to check out the operant conditioning video. It's going to be good. All right, I'll talk to you later.